Welcome back. This is Rito here with another endgame Calamity item showcase. Today we're going to be looking at an item I am so excited to see. It is called the Profaned Soul Crystal, and here it is right here. It's got a really cool icon. It's got kind of this little fire torch look to it. And when you put it on, you switch into a little miniature cute Providence. I really love the look and effects. You also summon the 3 Profaned Guardians. So I just toggled off my weapons out mod so you can kind of see a little bit better what this looks like. Before we start this showcase, I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone for their amazing support. The channel just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you all so much for your support. And yeah, let's start looking at this item. So when you enter the Providence form, your attacks change, and it's based off of which weapon you're holding. I think you have to have a continuous attack, though, for it to work. Right now, I'm using a melee weapon, and it shoots these fire spears. The tooltip says it transforms you into an emissary of the Profaned Goddess. It requires 10 minion slots to use in order to grant the following effects. All non-summoned weapons are converted into powerful summon variations. That's a really key thing there. Your damage is going to be based off of summoning damage. That's why I have the summoning Auric Tesla armor. And then it says falling below 50% life will empower these attacks. Transforms melee attacks into a barrage of spears. And so that's these attacks right here, the barrage of spears. And then it says transforms mage attacks into a powerful splitting fireball for 97 mana per cast. And that's this one right here. And then it says transforms range attacks into a flurry of fireballs and meteors. And the last one is transforms rogue attacks into a deadly crystalline spiral. And that's the one you see. It does a spiral and then it shoots out a big circle. It's kind of a mesmerizing thing. It looks like fireworks. It summons and empowers profane babs to fight alongside you. And that's these right here. It says you are no longer affected by burn when hit, provides buffs depending on the time of day, provides heat and cold protection in death mode. And the last little thing that it says is, thinking back, it was a boring life. And so we burn it all in the name of purity. Just to provide a little clarity about what it's mentioning about buffs by the time of day, the wiki gives a little bit more details saying that if it's day or if you're submerged in lava, you'll get a 15% boost in minion damage and knockback, 25% increased movement speed, 10% increased flight time, ignore water physics, and minus 15 defense. And then at night, or if you're submerged in water or honey, you'll get 15 defense, 5% damage reduction, 5 regen, and minus 15% movement speed. I just switched it back to day so we can get our full damage buffs, and let's summon a super dummy and start DPS testing this. So I'm going to use the sword right here. It doesn't actually matter what weapon you're using, so I have the Providence weapon just because I think it looks cool on my back with this armor set, but it's going to be the same damage. You can see I'm hitting around 400,000 damage. Next, let's take a quick look at the rogue effects. So you can see all of these shoot out and then they will home in. It takes about a second before it homes in there. And so let's hold this down and see what sort of damage we can do. We're doing about 350,000. Pretty good stuff. Right now I've got a mixture of defense and movement and damage. I've got the Stasis Blessing, I've got the Celestial Tracers, the Asgardian Aegis, the Community, the Stasis Curse, the Sponge, and the Profaned Soul Crystal. We could definitely switch off the Sponge for like maybe the Reaper Tooth Necklace or something and see what sort of damage we can do with this. So that boosts the damage a little bit, but I'm going to switch it back to the Sponge just because I like that one. Let's try out the Fireball magic attack. So we're doing about 400,000. That actually seems to have about the highest DPS because it'll hit 400,000 pretty easily, but you run out of magic really quickly. What I like to do is just switch to my magic weapon, shoot these off until I'm out of magic, and then switch to something else like ranged or whatever you want to do. Ranged here, we're doing 300,000 easy, 400,000. When those comets come down, it really helps boost, 600,000. It really is a factor of how lucky you are proccing the comets. But the range thing also loses effectiveness as you get farther away because a lot of these fires are going to be missing. Those are the 4 effects. They all kind of do within kind of the 300 to 400,000 range. And let's take a look at an improved dummy right here and just see how this compares. And it's about the same on an improved dummy. We're hitting about 350,000 or so. When I first saw it, I saw these little fire wings, and I was wondering if it was going to grant like free wings, but it actually doesn't. So you do have to have your wings on. One cool thing about this set is because you have summons, you can also activate some other summons, which will help boost your DPS as well. Let's go ahead and see how it does on Providence. We're just doing the melee variant. And that actually took longer than I was expecting it to. Oh, and it just dropped the Profaned Soul Crystal. So that's cool. I guess it is a drop. I think you have to be an expert or revengeance. I think it said on the wiki you had to beat it with the Profaned Soul Artifact on expert mode, but I just got it. That might be because I have it equipped. I do want to try and see if maybe the other versions do a little bit better damage. I don't know, this actually is not nearly as good as a lot of the endgame weapons. Like, I think it's gotta be one of the coolest things in the game. I just love this sort of polymorph type thing. Having 300,000 or 400,000 damage is not crazy good, but it is still pretty cool. So next, I want to try this on the Devourer of Gods and see how it goes. So I'm doing the melee version right there. That was a pretty good clear, better than the clear against Providence. And let's try maybe the magic to start. See how this goes. Even though this isn't the highest damage thing I've tested, I just have to say the visuals and the whole ability to switch between all of Providence's attacks, so cool. I forgot to mention this earlier, but the Profaned Soul Crystal is an item that was added in the Calamity 1.4.4 update. So this is a brand new item, and let's take a quick look at how to craft it. The first thing you'll need is a different crafting station than what we normally use. It's called the Profaned Crucible, and you need to put it in a hollowed or underworld biome. And in order to craft your Profaned Crucible, you need to have two things, the Profaned Rock and the Unholy Essence. Unholy Essence you pick up all over the place in the hollowed or underworld biomes, and then the Profaned Rock you can get from killing Providence. It's that rock square that Providence leaves behind after defeating her. And then what you need is the Profaned Soul Artifact, because that's the main piece to this recipe. The Profaned Soul Artifact is kind of like a different version of the Profaned Soul Crystal. So if I put this on, you can see it summons the Profaned Guardians, but I don't turn into a miniature Providence. And so you can actually only have one of these equipped at the same time. Like if I try to put this on, it actually won't let me put it on. So the recipe for the Profaned Soul Crystal includes Shadowspec Bars, which you'll get after defeating Supreme Calamitas, Cores of Sunlight, Eulabloom Bars, which you'll be able to mine after defeating Providence. Then you need the Profaned Soul Artifact, 50 Divine Geodes, which you can get from Providence, and the Unholy Essence, which you get all over the place, and then the Obsidian Rose. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to craft the Profaned Soul Artifact. So what you need are cinder plates, which are pretty simple. You just need hellstone and obsidian to craft a cinder plate. Then you need Cores of Calamity, Divine Geodes, and Exodium Clusters. Exodium Clusters you can find in the planetoids after defeating the Moonlord, or you can actually craft them by combining Luminite, Stardust, Solar, Vortex, and Nebula Fragments. Once you have all of those items, you'll be able to craft this sweet accessory on the Profaned Crucible crafting station. You can get this before defeating Supreme Calamitas, but it won't provide all of these cool effects until after you have defeated her. It will just be a vanity item. And even now, you can use it as a vanity item if you don't want the effects. Like right now, I just put it in my vanity slot, and I can use my normal attacks and still have this really cool look. Let's try seeing how it does against the boss rush. So I'm going to start with this rogue one because it just seems so dang powerful. And it seems to be doing really well. I'll throw on some rage too. Take out the bee really quickly here. Yeah, this rogue thing, you don't even have to aim. It's really good. Maybe let's try the ranged variant on these little eyes. That's pretty sweet. And we'll switch back to rogue here, since it'll home in. Honestly, I think the rogue version of this weapon might be the most powerful. I have to say though that this has got to be one of the most fun ways to play though, with just so many different options of switching between different playstyles. Feels really exciting. The rogue item is definitely going to be the way to go for the Eye of Cthulhu. There's probably a lot of ways to optimize the damage for this, so if any of you know some other improved accessory options and different ways to make this even better, definitely mention that in the comments, because I'd be interested to see how to improve this build. Overall, this is really fun, and it seems to be quite powerful. Yeah, this is going through boss rush, no problem. And let's go ahead and turn off the boss rush here. I'm over in the Sulphurous Sea with a Zerg potion on, doing the new event, and just showing how crazy this weapon is when you're using it just on all sorts of enemies here. Pretty much any version of it is going to be doing really well. And with a Zerg potion, there's plenty of enemies for it to hit. Ooh, we've got the boss spawning. Let's see how this does on the old Duke. Going pretty well so far. And there we go. I think that's it for this item showcase. It's a really unique accessory. I highly recommend picking it up and trying it out. There's lots of things to play around with, all the different attacks, and it just feels great to be using Providence's attacks. And I love the visual effect of it. Even if you just use it as a vanity, it's worth picking up just to use like that, because it looks so cool to look like a little miniature cute Providence guy. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all of the support. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. I also post other videos. I'm currently doing a death mode mage only playthrough on Calamity, so that's on my channel if you'd like to check that out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.